Maisie, welcome to the podcast, pal.
How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
You're putting some timber, aren't you? What are you doing? Are you eating the kids' food there? Or what?
Fuck off.
Tell
When
you what,
I start recording that.
fucking recording, don't you worry, I know that. No, I'm all good, pal. I'm all good.
Yeah, it's a strange time, I suppose. The last 3 months now.
Yeah, 12 weeks, yeah. It's been so strange, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
the whole country's come to a standstill and people are dying. I think it's over 60,000 now, probably over here,
yeah,
which is absolutely ridiculous.
yeah. Terrible.
It's sad times, mate. It is. It is, but I'm safe. My family's safe.
Yeah,
So that's a positive, if anything.
yeah. It's the same here as well. With us, everyone's safe and all that.
Yeah.
We have the little one here, obviously, that keeps us occupied, keeps me running around.
Yeah.
Maybe if I chase her a bit more, you know what I mean, I'll lose a bit of that timber, make you happy.
Tell you what, you need to start running a bit more then.
For those of you who don't know, this is the kind of banter me and Maisie have every time.
Absolutely.
We first met, it was September 2016. We met at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
It's the most obvious place to meet. We were doing the show yourself, and it wasn't Foran at the time who was hosting.
It was that show was it was Andy Goldstein, wasn't it? Andy Goldstein, was it?
No, it was you and Helen Evans that hosted it. It was a 6 p.m. show.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Thursday Focus.
Thursday Focus, yes, Thursday
Sorry.
Focus on MUTV. I remember going in, I remember meeting you, and the first plan of action was to prank this poor chap from Middleton
Yeah.
who owned a suit shop. And at that time, September 2016, so Mourinho had just joined United, and
Zlatan had just joined.
Zlatan, Pogba, and I kind of started doing the Zlatan impersonation at that time.
Yeah. Very good.
Sitting in the studio for 4 or 5 minutes, I was talking as Zlatan to this poor fella Leighton, promising him the sun and stars.
He got absolutely. I tell you what, the Jaws saying, "We need a bigger boat." We needed a bigger boat then, because we had him absolutely hook, line, and sinker. Brilliant. Oh, when I went in to see him the next day after the show, obviously we rang him back to say, it was Al Foran and he was effing and jeffing. And I went in the next day and he was absolutely buzzing because we mentioned his shop.
Yeah.
Menswear in Middleton. And even after that, he still had people going into the shop who watch MUTV and obviously watch himself and still mentioning it. So it was great publicity for yourself and also for the shop.
That is good, yeah.
But yeah, honest to God, all he could think of was, fuck me, this is a Bentley. I'm getting a Bentley out of this. Because all he could think of, massive pound signs, Zlatan coming into his shop at 6 o'clock in the morning for a coffee and stuff like that. Brilliant.
I remember at 6 o'clock we'll have a cup of coffee. I've got contacts in JD as well. So I mean, it was all about it was Zlatan developing a clothing line with Leighton from Middleton.
Yes,
he took it on the chin. He was great entertainment for us as well.
It was good.
Because some of the prank calls can fall flat in their arse,
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, his Zlatan's fantastic. It is absolutely bang on. And
cheers, bud.
And for me to, obviously, on the back of you, just ring him up, mate, got a call coming in. I think you're going to get a call of Zlatan. And he's like, oh, right, okay. I said, listen, I'm not sure, but Karen, the press officer as well, she might be on the call with you. Right, yeah, no problem. Okay, no. I'd be like, way. We've got a live one. And it was brilliant. Brilliant.
It was a beautiful friendship from then on.
I mean, I've known Leighton for, God, 30 years. I mean, his dad's had the shop probably 30 years, so I've been going in and out of the shop forever. So, you know, it was taken really good. It was.
But just on the subject yourself, obviously, you grew up in Oldham.
Yeah.
You've had an obsession with football from a very young age. Played football from the age of 8, I believe.
Well, yeah, probably that's when I started getting into it. I mean, I've got 2 brothers, both older than me. So all we ever did, mate, was, you know, we didn't have Xboxes and all that stuff then. All right, we might have had an Atari, but, you know, we always wanted to be outside playing.
Yeah.
And playing with your mates and, you know, getting out at 4 o'clock when your school's finished and going in at 10 o'clock, have your tea and nip back out. That's all we ever used to do.
Yeah.
And we just play football. Used to be a big yard where we used to go down, the Cromer Mill, it used to be called.
Yeah.
And we used to go in there all the time and just play football, jump the fence and play football. Street lights came on, that was it. You thought it was
That's the beauty of the game, isn't it? Football. It's, you know, meeting up with your mates, especially on a summer's day, like days like today and yesterday especially.
Yeah.
It's still bright at 10 o'clock. You're playing till all hours. You know, I remember especially like even on my road. I mean, it was small enough, but we'd play every night.
Yeah.
My older brother, my 2 mates, and my mate's dad would join in. It was just, you know.
Do you know what, mate? That was the norm, though.
Yeah.
You'd either have your bikes or you're playing football.
Mm. I don't see enough of that. Do you?
No, you don't. You don't, because football's changed, hasn't it? There's these academies and stuff like that, but because we never, we didn't have any. They weren't even thought, probably. Yeah. So just a case of, you know, you play with your mates, you know, day in, day out, and that's it. Weekends are coming, you won't be seen. You go for your dinner, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it was a good upbringing, mate. Parents were great. My dad followed. Well, my mum and dad followed all 3 of us. 2 brothers were decent footballers. My dad was a decent footballer. Yeah. Charles at Sheffield United, but his dad, my granddad, used to work for council and used to work the bins, so he didn't have the opportunity to take over to Sheffield week in, week out. Yeah. So my dad went into the police, and every game that I played, I bet my dad in my whole career, I bet he must have missed 4 games, 3 games.
Wow.
Yeah, travelled everywhere. And my mum as well. You know, whenever my mum would always come. So the backed us up, and there was always with us. Yeah.
That kind of support as well is just, it's essential, and it's beautiful as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was one of my biggest critics. Even if I played well, you know, he'd ask me certain things through the game, but not during the game. You know, you see too many parents now on the sidelines chirping up and having a go at the kids. Get forward, do this, do that. My dad just let me enjoy it. Just play football. And I think now, because there's so much money in the game, that sometimes you lose sight of it. Yeah. Or parents lose sight of it, and that's all they want. Yeah. Or little Johnny, little Al, little Maisie's got to be a footballer. Yeah. And you lose the passion. You can be forced into it, and you might not want to do. Yeah. You might not want to play, but there's such luxuries in it. It's a great career, of course it is, but sometimes parents just need to take a step back, I think.
Take a step back and kind of stop thinking of the projected cycle, I suppose, of a young player. Just If he enjoys it, he enjoys it. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. I say that to anyone. First and foremost, you've got to enjoy it. Play with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Somebody else go to you, just laugh at them. But you know, it's just the way things are at the moment. It's sad.
Yeah. It is. No, it is. It is, and it is. It goes back to that point where there's not many young kids playing football out in
No,
public anymore.
exactly, mate.
You know.
Yeah, we only trained. Well, we trained say Wednesday, Thursday, played Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever it was, you'd be playing. You'd be out in the streets playing. So
24/7. Yeah.
yeah, cool. Yeah.
But obviously, it's there was a lot of talent there, and you were playing for a long time, and you came through Blackburn's youth system.
Yeah.
And you made your debut on April Fools in 1988. April 1st.
April Fools, yeah. Yeah, well, the as you say, maybe debuting. I signed for Blackburn when I was 14.
Yeah.
Schoolboy. 16. Apprentice 18. So, and then maybe debut 5-6 months later. Swindon away. Yeah, April Fool's Day. The centre halves were injured, and myself and Keith Hill. Keith was a year older than me. We was in digs together.
Yeah.
Played in the resis week in, week out. So we had a great understanding. So yeah, that was my debut. Swindon away.
Swindon away. April. I mean, you are a joker.
I know. Yeah. I always remember going to the ground, and our Gale used to be. He was a Scouser and great lad. And actually, when I was a kid, I was always called Mayday at school.
Yeah.
Always. People still call me Mayday now.
Yeah.
From school. And then when I was an apprentice, Howard started calling me Maisie, and that's how it stuck.
Yeah.
So it was quite strange, really. And we were going to the game, and obviously, you're excited. The manager's pulled me to one side and said, "Listen, you're going to play today." So I phoned Dad. This must have been
wasn't
12:30.
Okay.
We're in Manchester. My dad's at work.
Yeah.
It's
the 3:00 kickoff, by the way, is it?
Yeah. And he arrives at Swindon 2:45. So God knows how fast he must have been flying down the motorway.
Brilliant.
But he was there for my debut. And we drew the game 1-1. Our Gale scored. But I always remember going to the game, driving to the game.
Yeah.
On the bus. And it's one of those that I use it now. I still use it now. Can't be far now. And the floodlights are like half a mile away. You can see the floodlights.
Yeah. And
me, naive, jumped straight in. Yeah, ground's there, mate. And the old bus just pissed themselves laughing. I'm thinking, is that a bastards? So I still use that now. Can't be far now, can it, lads? And I just laugh. But it always brings me back to my debut. And it was good. I enjoyed it. 1-1. Yeah. And then we had a night out then in Swindon.
That was the good. That was, I mean, the tradition back then as well. A game at 3:00 and then a night out with the lads.
Well, the thing is, Al, with that, we had we had Swindon on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And we had Watford on the Tuesday.
Okay.
Both away. So Don Mackay, the manager at the time, said, "Look, lads, rather than come all the way back to go all the way back down, what we'll do, we'll have a night out in, or we'll stay over in Swindon. You can have a night out in Swindon. We'll have Sunday off, and then Monday we'll go to Watford on the Tuesday from the hotel, and then head up back home. So, right, okay. So take some gear. I was only 18, never drank. And so we drew the game 1-1, and then Howard Gale says, Maisie, right, come on, we're off out. You've made your debut. Now you're making your debut out with the lads. Right, okay. So all I could think of was like, what the fuck do I drink here? What do I drink? And we get to the bar. We have our evening meal after the game, get bar, something to eat, and then when you meet in the bar, say 7 o'clock. So I'm stood there, and the lads are all at the bar with like pints of cider, Guinness, bitter, lager. I'm thinking, I'm not sure I can fucking drink one of them. So I looked at the optics and I went, I'll have a Southern Comfort and lemonade. Like a proper girly drink. And to this day, I can't stand it. I can't stand the smell of it. And the reason why is because it was like double after double after double.
Yeah.
And we end up in the middle of this. We end up in Swindon in a nightclub called, I think it was called Rumours. By this time, I've gone. Steve. Yeah. So we go up to this bar. It's like a round bar, and I'm stood at the bar, and I ordered myself one of the lads. Major, what do I drink? I can't have another one. I just saw this like pump pills lager. Like, I don't know if you've had pills out. It's as thick as Guinness. It's proper thick lager, but fucking horrible. Anyway, I ended up having this pint of lager, and I'm stood at the bar, and I'm just thinking, wow, just made my debut. I'm out with the lads. Yeah, this place is rocking, having a great time.
Oh, life is amazing. Life is just
I'm a professional footballer. Just made my debut, and you ask any footballer, the best day is making your debut.
Yeah.
So anyway. So I'm stood at this bar, and the lads disappear. And lads, I've got no money, don't know where I'm staying, I don't know anything, and I can't see the lads.
Oh no! No mobile phones back then, 1988.
No, nothing, no chance. And I'm thinking, what the fuck do I do here? Anyway, the lads appear. Oh, fucking hell, lads, where have you been? And I'm stood there with a pint again with the lads. But this happened like 2 or 3 times. The lads disappear.
Yeah.
Until I realise I'm standing on a fucking revolving bar. And this bar's... So the lads don't actually move. I'm on this revolving bar going round and round. And I'm just... Because I'm that pissed, Al. I can't... And the lads just... next minute, they've gone. And I'm there with this pint. Where the fucking hell are the lads? And then 2 or 3 minutes, the lads appear as this revolving bar goes round. Anyway, I end up throwing up and being sick. Howard Gale put me in a taxi, paid the taxi fare, paid for cleaning because obviously I was ill. Yeah. Can't remember this, but speaking on the Monday, because the Sunday I never even left my bed. 2 lads came in, a lad called Tony Diamond, who was Northern Ireland international, only young, and a lad called Sean Curry, who was signed from Liverpool. Yeah. Well, they're boom. So the cleaner's come in, she's cleaned up all around me, made sure, there's a glass of water at the side of the bed. So I'll come back later on just to check, because I was obviously sick everywhere. Yeah. So she cleaned up. So I'll come back later on. Anyway, TD and Sean come back in the room, 7 o'clock, give me the spliff. So they're smoking this spliff in my room, and I'll honestly got it absolutely stunk. So there's me throwing up again then.
Oh, that's, yeah. Drink and not together.
Oh, mingy.
The worst.
So basically, we get up for Monday for training, and I've not been seen on the Sunday. I've had nothing to eat.
Yeah.
And Don Mackay, the manager, pulls me on the Monday as we're going out to actually get on the bus to go training. And he just said, David, you did brilliant over the weekend. You know, really, really pleased. Your parents will be really pleased, but the fact that you didn't get up yesterday and the fact we've got a game tomorrow, I'm not going to play you because you're still pissed. So I had to tell my dad, and obviously being a copper and all that, he wasn't an happy bunny.
He wasn't a happy man.
He wasn't a happy bunny, no. So so that was my debut, mate. Yeah.
But I mean, fast forward a couple of years later, you're a prominent figure.
Yeah.
In the team. They promoted in 1992 Blackburn into the Premier League. You're playing. You're playing alongside. I think did Alan Shearer join in 92?
Al joined beginning of the Premier League, 92.
92,
yeah.
And Chris as well with that.
No, Chris Sutton joined 95 when I left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you want to get your stats right there. I know you keep going down.
But
you're going to do your job, Dal. Do it properly.
So, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Fancy. He's keeping like that. Right? Chris Sutton, Alan Shearer. Yeah.
But I mean, you're enjoying your football. You're playing football. And 93, 94, Blackburn finished runners-up in the Premier League to Manchester United and won their second Premier League in a row. And obviously there was a bit of a contract dispute between yourself and Blackburn in during the summer of 1994, wasn't there? That kind of...
yeah, as you said, we got promoted. Had 2 great years then. Playing alongside Kevin Moore and Colin Hendry.
Yeah.
And I probably learned more than I ever learned. Yeah, so we got promoted. I had 2 great years, Blackburn.
Yeah.
Playing alongside Kevin Moore, and I probably learned more in those 2 years than I ever learned, because Kevin a different class. He taught you through every game.
Well, it's funny about Kevin Moran as well. Like, he won the All-Ireland football title with Dublin.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think it was 84 he won the All-Ireland with Dublin. And then he made the move to Manchester United.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
But belting lad. I have a lot of time for Kev. But yeah, he taught me so much. He did. And then, as you say, my contract was coming up to the end, and I think because I come through the youth team as a schoolboy, as apprentice, and then years as a pro. Robert Kohler, the chairman at the time, must have thought, we'll sort Maisie out at the end of the season, which is totally wrong. You should never let a player run down his contract if you wanted to keep him. So, but Paul Stretford was my agent, and then we had Norwich away, December-ish, and Mark Robbins, who used to play for United, he just said, "United are here watching you." Oh, yeah, good. And this is in the bar after. If he'd have told me that just before kick-off, I'd have probably shot myself.
Yeah.
He told me in the bar, we met for a pint, and he just said, "United are here watching you." Les Kershaw's over there, who's the chief scout. So I'll introduce you to him. Les came over, we had a quick chat. So what's happening in your contract? I said, nothing, not been offered anything. He said, I'm joining Man United.
Wow.
Yeah. And I went, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Obviously, I had 6 months left of my contract. He just said, we'll do a press release around April-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
Gaffer rang us up, just said, sit tight, just keep doing what you're doing, playing well, and we'll sort something out. And that was it. That was basically it, mate. I was I was signed, sealed, delivered, but I still had a duty to Blackburn, which I did. If it'd have been strange if Blackburn had turned round a month later and offered me something.
Yeah.
I'd have just turned it down.
Yeah.
Shearer. I think Shearer at the time was on $9,000 a week. Just coming to the Premier League, $9,000 a week.
A lot of money back then.
Oh, okay, a lot of money now.
Yeah.
I think Tim Flowers might have been on 6, 7. Bats. David Batt was on similar. Tim Sherwood similar. And I was on $500 a week.
Yeah. So I mean.
And I weren't even asking for that. I weren't even asking.
Regular. For that. You're starting every game. You know.
We was on £750 a win bonus, and I earned more in bonuses than I did in wages.
Yeah, due to clean sheets and.
Yeah. Well. So it was just one of them, and then we played. Went up to Jersey, didn't see Jack, and then obviously the press come out. United set to sign David May, and I always remember being in a nightclub with Ray Harford. I think it was called Applejack's. Jack's nightclub in Jersey, and he just said, "What's happening with your contract, Mazer?" I said, "Well, the club's not offered me anything, Ray." So where's the love there? Where's the And he just went, "Well, what are you asking for?" I said, "I've no idea. I've no idea." So I've not got anything. He says, "Well, I could probably get you. I could, what about $2.5 grand?" I went. Said, "I'm not." I said, "Listen, I played probably as many games as Shearer.
Yeah.
Bats, Tim Flowers, blah 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 blah." Said, I don't want what Shearer wants, but I want, decent wage.
A respectable wage, yeah.
24, coming up to 25. And he went, "Right, okay." I said, "But do you know what, Ray? I've made my mind up." I said, "I'm going to United." But I made my mind up 6 months ago, so it's probably irrelevant what Blackburn had offered me now.
Yeah.
I want to play for United. And he went, "Fair play to you. Good luck with you." And that was it.
Yeah. So in a sense, it was an amicable.
Oh, well, it was amicable on my side, but then that twat over chair in Robert Cord turns around and says, "I was being greedy." And exactly. Yeah. And then I said to Strat, when he came out and said, "Oh, this David May's being greedy and blah blah blah," I wanted to react, and he said, "Do you know what? Just let it go," because I wasn't even being greedy. How could it be? We didn't even speak about money.
Yeah.
And he was just covering his back because Jack went absolutely ballistic. That I'd come through the youth, and how on earth could you let one of our players' contracts run out when he was a vital part of the team? So, but I had the last laugh.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one point, am I right in saying he signed you for a fee of £1.2 million?
Well done. You got that one right.
In 1994.
Yeah.
You were kind of brought in because Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister, who had been the two kind of mainstay centre halves at the back, were kind of approaching the twilight years of their career.
Well, Brucey was.
Brucey was. Pally was around 30 at the time.
Yeah.
Brucey was 34, 35, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you.
So that was the way that the manager saw me coming in to replace Brucey, and and I must say, when I walked through the front door at the Cliff on July the 1st, I actually sat next to Brucey and Pally. I was sat in between them, and I can honestly say the pair of them were absolutely different class.
Yeah,
different class. They just won the double. I've come in to really replace Brucey, and Brucey like, "Maisie, welcome aboard. Welcome to the biggest and best club in the world." So Pally was exactly the same. "Welcome, big man. All the best." And no animosity, none at all. They was absolutely as good as gold.
Yeah.
But walking in that dressing room on that day, on the double, and Shearer was our superstar at our club.
Yeah.
But walking through that dressing room, or walking into that dressing room, Wow.
You could just tell there was an aura of
Ah,
those confidence, and they were winners, and
they were, they,
everything was perfect.
yeah, they were, they were,
Rigid.
they were powerful.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, can I actually handle it in here? I was confident, but
Yeah.
you know, when you go in there and you walk in, you look around, you like Sparky's there, Cantona's there, Giggs there, Schmeichel, Ince, Hughes, Keane, Pallister, Bruce, Irwin,
Yeah.
you're like Parker, and you're thinking, Jesus.
Yeah.
It was for that first week. It was absolutely daunting. I thought, oh my God, unbelievable.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
I always think about that team, and obviously I was young. I suppose I was 3 years old at the time, but my older brother, who's about maybe 10 years older than me, he talks about that kind of the 92, 93, 93, 94 teams, and how, like, I mean, how good they were. I think people kind of forget how good. A lot of the young fans now will kind of remember the 07, 08 team, and
Yeah.
the treble team as well. But like that 93, 94 team that you had just kind of July 1st, all of those players were there. They were one hell of a team.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Chelsea, well, Sharpie, frightening.
yeah.
I think everyone bar Bruce was an international.
Wow.
And I know on earth Bruce never became, or never got a cap for England. I'll never know.
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
isn't it?
wow, fucking powerful.
Yeah.
The first game was a Charity Shield against Blackburn. Because United done the double, so normally it's the league winners versus the FA Cup winners.
Yeah.
But obviously United had done the double, so it goes first versus second. But it was strange. It was.
I'd say it was the first game against your old club, especially the comments from the owner as well. So it's kind of
Ince scored an overhead kick, I think, and Eric scored a penalty. But yeah, it was nice. Every time I touched the ball, Blackburn fans were booing. But
fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And do you know what? The Blackburn fans were brilliant with us. They were so much as they hated me then and all that sort of stuff. I had a great rapport with the Blackburn fans. Really did.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, yeah. And like, I mean, talk me through that first season as well, because I know in particular that game in January '95 is one that you speak about all the time. Whether it's at Q&As, at speaker dinners. You know, you scored in the game, that infamous game at Selhurst Park.
Yeah. Well. Obviously, Blackburn went on to win the league that year, but we were neck and neck with Blackburn.
Yeah.
And playing at Selhurst Park was always horrible, whether it was against Wimbledon or Crystal Palace, because we used to share the same pitch. Yeah. It was horrible. And this particular evening, it was blustery, and it was raining, then it was windy, and just pitch was bobbly. Just an horrible game.
Yeah.
And it's one of those: do your job and get out and get home. That's all. But a certain certain Frenchman wanted to do something special that night, and he did. after me scoring, so that was my first league goal for United, to go 1-0 up. But Eric might have got sent off, and then we scored. But yeah, it was such a strange thing to see. One of your teammates, all right, he'd been provoked all the game. He'd been kicked 10 bells off by, I think it was Richard Shaw and Southgate. And obviously Eric just flipped and ended up booting Richard Shaw up the arse, and can't think who the referee was. Straight red, and that was it. That's all you got. That's it. It's gone, and he'll get 3-match ban or whatever it was, and they'll be back. But then the Crystal Palace fan, then Matthew Simmons, charging down the stands and started calling him, fuck off back to France, you French motherfucker, and everything like that. So Eric, and fair play to him, turned around and battered him.
That's the thing with Eric. I mean, Eric is a very passionate individual.
Yeah.
You give him shit, he'll give it back to you tenfold. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Don't fuck with Eric was kind of the case. And I think that was how, obviously, the gaffer was such a genius, because he dealt, and he did it his whole career. He dealt with players differently.
Yeah.
And as you saying it, he dealt with Eric very differently to a lot of other players. And it was so beneficial to not only Eric, but the team as a whole. And I think, like, there's, a particular example is the dressing room incident at the end of that game.
Well, yeah, because obviously, you see one of your teammates flying through the air and 2-footing the lad in the crowd, and then punching hell out of him. But you still got your job to do, and you still think, right, all right, yeah, he's done that, and it's you got to forget about it. So all we're thinking is, like, just see the game out. Down to 10 men, we won the lot. See the game out. Anyway, it was a free kick or a corner or whatever it was, and Southgate scores, and we drew the game 1-1, and it's one of those. Then, right, let's get in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, because everybody got bollocked off the gaffer. Everyone had the hairdryer, and it was just a case of, right, okay. So you go in, you sit down, you don't say anything, and obviously everyone's pissed off. And Eric's sat in the corner with his blazer on. He's been in, had a shower, and he's just sat there. And then the gaffer comes in, door near enough ripped off the hinges, and then he just starts on Schmeichel. Fucking call yourself fucking best keeper in the world. You've not come for a cross. You've not made a fucking save. Your distribution's fucking crap. Your decision making's crap. Pallister, 6'4", you've not won a fucking header. You've been bullied all the way around the ground. Incy, call yourself the governor. Big tough fucking midfielder. You're a pussy. Sharpie, my grandma's quicker than you. Then he says to me, and you, where the fuck was you when Southgate scored? So I was marking Richard Shaw. Well, who's marking fucking Southgate?
Eric.
Fucking Eric. So you're thinking, right, fuck you. So I've seen the
yes.
I'm away sort of thing. And he turns to Eric and he just looks at Eric and goes, Eric, can't be doing things like that, son.
And Brian turns around and proceeds to give his own.
Fucking then turns to Coley. Coley, you fucking can't have a bag of cement. You've not had a goal. I'm thinking, hold on a minute, fucking Eric's 2-footed the lad in the crowd there, and he's having to go at everybody bar Eric. But as you say, Al, that's the way he looked after Eric. And then all right, we lost the season we lost the league to Blackburn that year. And had Eric not 2-footed the lad in the crowd, we'd have still won the league and probably won the cup because he was that good.
Yeah, he was that influential.
All right, Eric was different class.
Yeah.
So he's done it. So he served his 8-9 month ban, and his first game back's against Liverpool. And I remember it well. All the French flags, all singing "Noir" and everything like that. It was surreal.
Yeah.
And
I remember him walking out with the collar up, and I remember the roar of the crowd, like goosebumps,
Oh yeah. And he set Butchie up for the first goal, and then I think they scored 2, and then he scored the equaliser, a penalty, and he runs to the stand and goes to jump in it, and spins round on the pole on the back of the net. But it's funny because when I've spoke to him, we had a podcast with him.
Yeah.
And I said, did you feel that you owed the club, or older players.
Mm.
And he went, yes, I did what I did.
Mm.
I said, would you do it again? He went, yes, I would do it. So we win the league. Eric scores, God knows what he scored, the last 15 or 16 games. I think we might have won 16 out of the last 17, and we drew 1. And Eric must have scored 11 of those goals.
And rattled Kevin Keegan. I've never seen a man take the bait.
Oh, brilliant!
So much that year with Sir Alex.
Yeah.
I mean that infamous. I would love it if we beat them. Like, it's I'm young enough. I don't really remember Kevin Keegan as a player, but I have heard that he was one of the best players the country ever produced.
Yeah.
But my memory of Kevin Keegan is that Sky Sports.
Yeah, they've got to go to Middlesbrough, and I would love it. I would love it. And you can send them a video of this.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about Stuart Pearce and people like that. I've kept my mouth quiet, and you're like, he's proper going for it here. And then obviously we go up to Middlesbrough. We win that game 3-0, and
you scored in that game as well. You scored the first.
I did. Giggsy corner.
Mm.
It was Steve. I think it was Steve White who was marking us. I got up early. That's what managed me to get over the top of him. I jumped early and like rolled on his body and managed to get a header. Went past Walshy and Branco on the goal line. That was 66-1 it was that day to score the goal.
Really?
Score the first. Yeah. My dad had a fiver. A few mates had tenors on us.
Oh, class.
Yeah. So we win the game 3-0. I'm absolutely buzzing.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's an unbelievable moment, scoring the game that ultimately clinches the league for United.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. It was you can never say, but it was never in doubt. We was always going to go up there and beat Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
But still got to do it. Going up there, it could have gone either way. But I think Spurs went 1-0 up. I think Jason Dazelle scored. And you start hearing things in the crowd and cheers. We're 1-0 up, they're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you just got to do your job. And when Giggsy scored the third one,
lovely goal.
Then you're just thinking, right, now you can relax and you can enjoy it and sample there. But then we had Liverpool the following week, FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Always wanted to play in a cup final. Mate, I play because Brucey, and I only found out this the other day doing a Sharpie podcast. Sharpie wasn't sub that game. He made Brucey one of the subs. I think there was only 3 subs at the time.
Yeah.
And the gaffer made Brucey sub. Yeah. Brucey had he snapped hamstring, but he wanted Brucey to lift the trophy. So, if one of us had got injured, Brucey wouldn't have been able to go on.
Yeah.
So the following week, we've got Liverpool in the cup final, and Brucey still hadn't recovered from his injury. This is what I said to you earlier on about Brucey. Brucey came up to us before the cup final, before it even been, the team had been announced. He says, I hope you're playing tomorrow because you deserve it. You've been absolutely fantastic. Just go out there and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so nice of him to say that.
Yeah.
Obviously, because Brucey's centre half.
Goes back to what your dad always said to you. Go out there and enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Brucey was exactly the same. Unbelievable professional. And I loved it. I love that bit of... And whenever I look back, I always look at, the likes of Wes and Shady coming through. I was coming to the twilight of my career. I wanted to be like Brucey and help the lads through.
Yeah.
And Shady says it all the time. Maisie taught me through games half the time in the resis. I learned so much of him, and I thank It's only because what Kevin Moran did to me when I was a kid, and also what Bruce was like, and that's the way I wanted to bow out. But Liverpool the week after, we beat Liverpool in the final. Can't forget those suits they were wearing. We're already out on the pitch, and they turn up in these cream suits, and all you think is we can't get beat today. We can let them beat us. And obviously, Eric scored the winner.
It was the music video, the Billy Ocean music video, when the going gets tough with Vito, Michael Douglas, and Billy Ocean. That's what it reminded me of. And the going did get tough for them that day.
Yeah. Oh God. So we had so we enjoy that. Do the tour around Manchester, and then we have I think we had a meal at the town hall. This is good, back to where Eric never got a bollocking. So we turn up at town hall, black tie dinner. You're there with your wives and girlfriends.
I think I've heard this because I remember Giggsy telling a story like this at a dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I know where it's going.
And Sharpie turns up with it was like a Vivienne Westwood shirt and tie. Still looked the bollocks. Still looked really smart. But it was black tie with a gaffer, black tie, white shirt. That's it.
Yeah.
So pull Sharpie to one side and he bollocks him, finds him a week's wage. And then Eric walks in, fucking red Nike cap, baseball cap, Nike trainers, shirt and collar undone, no tie, nothing. So Sharpie turns to the gaffer, Gaffer, fucking Eric. And he looks at Eric and he just started, he looks for bollocks, doesn't he? And turns around and carries on talking. So Eric was obviously very, very special, and just got away with so many things. But
he was one of a kind, really, wasn't he?
He was brilliant.
We've had players, I suppose, similar in style to Eric at United in Berbatov.
Yeah.
Zlatan, but I just don't. I mean, I loved Berbatov. I thought he was very underrated for United, and Zlatan was so impactful in his first season. But I just don't think any player will have that aura that Cantona had. I mean, rival teams loved him, rival fans loved him. You know, I've mates who are Liverpool fans who you just have to admit it. You go, like, I couldn't help it. I love the guy as a player. Like, he was brilliant. You know.
It was one of the. Do you know what? Once you get to know him, he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
kept him quiet in the dressing room, but he'd be first out onto the training ground. He'd be the last one in. Always practicing, always doing certain things. But yeah, when there were team meetings, Bruce would go see the gaffer and say, "I think the lads need a night out," and they start a couple of times a year, 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
Where you'd have a team meeting, get all together, have a good drink, for that team bonding. And Eric was big, like first one off the training ground that day, getting ready. Come on, lads, let's get it down. He was brilliant, absolutely, and he loved it. He loved our mentality, the way we were. And he wanted to fit in with our culture.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, look, obviously the following season was his final season. And I remember you telling me that was personally that was your favourite season at United that year, 1997.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Playing week in, week out.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it. We won the league. The only disappointing thing, we got beat by Dortmund in the semi-finals of the European Cup when we absolutely battered them. How on earth we didn't win? Sadly, that was Eric's last season with us.
Yeah.
It was. That was a good season. It was. And then we was away on pre-season, and I ruptured. Came back. We'd done. Where have we been? China, Japan, Malaysia for like 15 days, 16 days. Then we came back. We had a day at home, and then we flew out to Milan, into Milan in a friendly, and that was when Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, had just signed for him, and he played the first half. But I remember then running into the corner and just pulling up, and I ruptured my thigh muscle, and I had a big hole in my thigh where it snapped. So I was out for Jesus. That was pre-season, so I'd have been out well into December.
Yeah.
Played Ipswich in the Littlewoods Cup, Carling Cup, whatever, League Cup, and it went again. I had a tiny bit that was hanging on, and that snapped again. So that put me out again. So that season was like more of a write-off. Henning came in, I think Henning and Ronnie came in. And by that time then I was picking up injury after injury.
Yeah.
Managed to get a few games, 99, which was incredible. Yeah. That was the best thing ever. We played the last 7 games of the league, played in the FA Cup final, missed out on the European Cup, but again, that was just coming back from injuries, and I don't know if I was cursed or whatever it was, but it was hard. It was tough being injured and watching ours train, but managed to get at the end.
I mean, as well, we talk about that season, and it's no other British team has done it.
No.
Funny. I see the Arsenal. I think it was the Arsenal page putting up a picture of Arsene Wenger, who, give respect to Arsene Wenger, one of the greatest coaches ever in the Premier League. But it's I don't know what it is with the admins on Twitter. Arsene sitting beside all of the invincible managers and stuff like that, and it's a row of empty seats. And I think we responded with a Ferguson one. Sir Alex beside all of the treble-winning managers. I mean,
it was unreal. I mean, for the season, I mean, the lads have done phenomenal. Some of the games you played, sometimes things are written in the stars. Liverpool getting beat 1-0 in the FA Cup, 2 late goals. Semi-final, Keane gets sent off. Phil Neville gives a penalty away. And then Giggsy does his, best goal ever in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Home and away against Barca, home and away against Juventus, home and away against Bayern Munich.
I think Roy in that game, the second leg, Juventus. I still consider that one of the greatest performances from a player that I've ever seen.
Well, considering the fact that he was going to miss the final because he got booked.
Yeah.
And also Scholes, great characters.
Yeah.
When you talk about players who put the bodies on the line, that day them two was phenomenal. Keane especially.
I mean, Scholesy and Keane especially,
the driving force. Yeah.
The driving force in midfield.
Yeah. The engine in the car makes disappear for the final.
Just it couldn't have been a more perfect partnership as well with Keane in that holding position.
Yeah.
And Keane intercepting everything and then giving it to Scholesy, and we all know what Scholesy could do. I've told you Scholesy's my favourite player ever.
Yeah.
You don't even, of course, watch clips of Paul Scholes, but all you need to do is look at some of the quotes from some of the most prolific European players that speak about Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Phenomenal. He was. And, a little lad from Salford, grew up in Langley, asthmatic, tiny as a kid as well. It took him time to grow. You look at like Butty and Bex and Nebs was all physically bigger than him. And he took his time coming through, but wow,
When
Wow.
he came through. Because we go back obviously as well to 95, 96. And I think because Eric was serving his ban at
Yeah.
that point, and Scholes had just kind of come into the first team and had made a massive impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Scholes was unbelievable. Unbelievable player.
Yeah.
You know, you do things in training. And there's, you know, there's things on YouTube. I think there's two lads walking down the side of a pitch, two Spanish lads or two Italians.
Mm.
And he's trying to do an interview in the middle of this pitch. And these two are shouting away. And he just turns around, gets the ball and just launches it like 60 yards and smacks somebody on the back of the head. You know, just mental things. But one thing I love about Scholes is you know, there's no airs and graces with him.
Mm.
He loves a pint, loves his golf, loves his racing. Just a sound lad.
Yeah. I mean, when I met him, the first thing he said to me when I met him, I love your Tyson Fury impression. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like a big, you know me, I'm like a big fucking idiot. Oh, man, you were my hero growing up. You know?
No, but Scholes is a great lad. He is.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was obviously an integral part of that treble as well. So you know, he missed out on the final of the Champions League, but you know, he played in the midfield in the FA Cup, scored. Just a sensational footballer, really is.
And it was that midfield. Will you ever get a better midfield than that? I mean, you got Becks on the right, Scholes, Keane, and then Giggsy on the left. I mean, the classic 4-4-2 formation at that time.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't. I can't think of anything that is better than that.
No, I think what will come close to it will be Andre. But this is going back to 92, 93, 94.
Andre, yeah, on the right.
Andre, Ince, Keane, Giggsy.
Yeah.
But I think with Beck, she had a little bit. I mean, Andre was frighteningly quick.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have as much technical ability as Beck's.
Yeah.
And Ince, more of a powerhouse. But then, you know, would you have Scholes or would you have Giggsy? Would you have Ince? Well, no brainer, innit? You'd have Scholes all day.
Scholes all day.
Yeah, because Scholes was a nasty bastard as well.
He was.
He you know, he kicked 10 bells of shit out of you in training.
Yeah.
So yeah, you bang on there. You know, formidable midfield, really is. And you got Butty in there as well, who's different.
I mean,
but he gets overlooked. You know, he was a great player.
Yeah.
He was a great player.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, whenever he was needed. I mean, we're talking about world-class players that you played with. Like, I mean, who impressed you the most in training, week in, week out? Like, who would you go, what? You know, like, what the fuck?
Probably Scholes.
Was it Scholes? Yeah.
Because there was nothing on him. It was just, he's the most, you know, my mate, John Blythe, never met Scholes in. I have my golf day every year for the Christie Cancer in Manchester. And me and John decided to do this Christmas, this golf day. It's 10th year this year, hopefully. And he'd never met Scholes.
Yeah.
I introduced Scholes, this is John, helping me run the golf day. All right, mate, you okay? Had a bit of crack with him, and that was it. And he went, fucking hell, there's nothing to him, is there?
Yeah.
There's like no airs and graces. He's just he said you wouldn't think, looking at him, that he was the best midfielder in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Because he's no, nothing. And I know it's so strange because it's like, you know, how do you spot what does a murderer look like, or what does this look like? And you can ask the same about Scholes. You know, what does the best midfielder? Does he look ripped? Is he good looking fella or whatever it is? But like Scholes, he's just Scholes, little ginger kid who was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. And John gets on well with Scholes now, like, but he still looks at him and thinks, "Fucking hell,
Yeah.
that's mad. That's mad that he's the best midfielder the Premier League's ever seen."
Yeah, he is. And listen, I know there's always going to be that triple debate between Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, and Paul Scholes. But for me, it's Paul Scholes all day in terms of consistency. I mean, listen, respect to Gerrard and respect to Frank Lampard. They were incredible. They were and Scholes. The three of them. They were the quintessential goal-scoring midfielders. And they. Yeah. Week in, week out, they'd put in a great performance. I picked Lampard ahead of Gerrard. I just thought he provided a bit more to the team when it came to assists.
Gerrard was a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Gerrard is a top player, top player. But Scholes was a top player in a top team. Same with Frank,
Yeah, I think as well the argument that Gerrard didn't have he didn't have the solid players around him like the other two had.
He ran the Liverpool team, but phenomenal. Still brilliant players. But for me, if I had to pick a midfielder, it'd be Scholes all day. And I'm not being biased there. I'm trying to take the red shirt off and just be as neutral as I can, and I would still say Scholes was the best.
But it's definitely the achievements, it's the past, it's the image. Barely made a mistake. He barely made a mistake. But obviously, I know his tackling. A lot of people would talk about his tackling, but whenever if Scholes gave away the ball in the game, it would have been, oh my God.
Yeah.
Biggest shock ever.
Yeah. And lads call him Satnav whenever.
Yeah.
Because wherever they look, the ball would always get there.
Yeah.
Just a top player, and a great lad as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, obviously they've won the treble. So Ole scores that famous goal. I'll never forget that game as well. I was 8 years old. And I remember watching it. I remember bawling, crying. Up until Teddy scored the equaliser, I was bawling, crying. With my mother. My dad at the time was working, construction worker, and he was working in Galway. And my brother, I think he was about 17 or 18 at the time, he was out in the piss watching it in some gaff. But I'll never forget that. I'll never, even as a young kid, I'll never forget jumping up and screaming the house down when the second goal went in.
Phenomenal. Mate, we were, I'm not saying you don't deserve to win the game, but, had it been the other way around, we'd just won a double, because they were going for the treble as well.
Yeah.
If we're 1-0 up, and then, you've hit the bar, you've hit the post.
Yeah.
You've battered Bayern, and you're winning 1-0, and then 90 minutes are up, you're thinking that's it, you've won the European Cup, you've won the treble, and then bang bang, you think that is an injustice, because they on the night they the game, but we had an unbelievable desire, and it was that got us out of so many games that season.
Yeah,
late goals.
The FA Cup.
Yeah, just never gave up, mate. Never gave up, and that was credit to all the lads and obviously the gaffer as well. But
the four lads that played up front. I mean, you can't think of four better strikers at that time that you could just rotate.
Yeah.
And Yorkie and Cole, that link up was just
incredible. And do you know what? They never worked on things. It was just instinct.
Yeah.
And that's what they were phenomenal. Obviously, Teddy and Ollie, they got all the glory because they scored the 2 goals in the final. But Coley and Yorkie ripped Barca to bits. Juventus in the semi as well. Yeah, you wouldn't have liked to have faced them. They were different class. They were.
Yeah. I mean, and as well, that Juventus game as well, you always look back at it and think, like, there's Zinedine Zidane playing in that team, like,
Yeah.
just fresh off winning the World Cup with France, the previous,
Yeah.
the most talked about player in the world, probably. And, you know,
He was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, and that night, obviously, that was a. You've told me about that night. One of the best. Was it the best night of your life? One of the best nights.
It's got to be up there, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't. The only thing I was looking back, obviously, ITV over here. I think the game finished. I don't know, say 10:15, might have been 11:15, whatever it was. But they showed the trophy, and then that was it. It's all the other footage that you see after it.
Yeah.
The lads celebrating that nobody else back in England would have seen. I mean, they'll have seen it on YouTube and stuff like that, but you know, we was another hour on the pitch celebrating, just sat there and just chatting and, you know, soaking everything. I mean, United must have had 70% of that stadium that night.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So we just, you know, we didn't get back to the hotel till 1:30. And it was straight down to the basement in the hotel, in the Arts Hotel. Straight through, just straight on it and straight through.
Straight through to the morning.
Me, Coley and Paul Stretford, we had champagne breakfast. And then the bus would say 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I don't know what time we're leaving. I went back upstairs, got my bag, and just off we go. Didn't even sleep, just went straight through.
I mean, as well, even just about kind of from a fan's perspective as well. My two uncles were at the game. Season ticket holders as well over in Old Trafford. They were at that game, and they were also. I mean, they were at Italia '90. I mean, you know, England did so well in Italia '90, and Ireland. I mean, if you remember Ireland's campaign during Italia, this whole country down.
Yeah.
You know? You'd only been in one international tournament before that. We didn't know what it was.
No.
They always speak about, you know, the new Camp 99 and Italia '90 just being the best trips of their lives. Just
to be fair, that was quality. Yeah.
Incredible, like. But yeah, obviously, you know, after that, the treble has been secured, and you know, like that, unstoppable for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
In the next two seasons, they walk the league. How was that for you? Because I know you kind of finished up a couple of years later. You know.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, after '99, we go on tour. This is where Yorkie I went to see the gaffer and asked for a year out, so we can carry on celebrating. Now, why on earth you'd go and speak to the manager and say, "Gaffer, I'd like a year off, just to fucking go around the world and celebrate." But yeah, so we went to Australia, pre-season, Melbourne, Sydney. Melbourne, Sydney, then we went up to Japan, I think it was, back home. And then probably about September time, I snapped my Achilles. And then that put me out then for the season.
Yeah.
By that time then, I think Rio had come in by then. Wes was coming through. So by that time then, I don't know, I probably played 6 or 7 games in the next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I was just crippled with injuries.
Yeah.
Double hernias, knee operations, plantar fascia, which is like the thing at the bottom of your foot. Just unbelievable injuries, and you know, I was gutted. I was.
Yeah.
But And then obviously, the gaffer pulled us to one side and said, look, your contract's up at the end of the season. We're not going to be offering you one. And I was heartbroken. I was.
Yeah.
Because it'd been my life for the last 8.5 years, 9 years, I think it was. But I knew. I weren't playing. I was playing in the resis, week in, week out, training with the resis. And then the last game of the season was against Everton. I think that's when Wes done his cruciate. We went to the where did we go? We went to the living room on Deansgate. All the lads went there to celebrate because they had the upstairs there.
Yeah.
And I had an apartment at the back of Deansgate, over Parsonage Gardens, and had a drink with the lads, said goodbyes and everything like that. So I thought, well, I'll take a bottle of champagne to keep as a memento. So it was this bottle of Krug champagne, about 200 quid. And come out of living room, and I'll press it there, taking photographs, and I turn right again, and then I'm in Parsonage Gardens. And I'm sat in the gardens, and my apartment just looks above it. And there's this tramp on a park bench. So as I'm walking through the little square, the gardens, I get chatting to this tramp. True story. This it must be about half 12, 1 o'clock. Obviously, I had a bit to drink. And I get chatting to this tramp on this park bench.
Yeah.
And he says, "So what have you got there?" I said, "Oh, a bottle of champagne." He went, "Fuck it." I said, "Come on, let's have a bottle of champagne between us." So there's me and this tramp on a park bench drinking this bottle of fucking champagne. £200 bottle of champagne. So I have 3 or 4 drinks of it and chatting away with him or whatever. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But walk away and he's still on the park bench with this bottle of Krug champagne at the side of him. I then go to Mulligan's for the next 12 days. I go on a bender.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
My missus, she just had, my daughter was only, my lad was 3. Willow was only 4 months, 5 months, something like that. 3 or 4 months. And I didn't know what to do. I panicked. And this is the other side of, all the airs and all the good stuff. There's a bad side to it all. And I just went on a bender for 12 days.
Yeah.
And I spent 12 days in Mulligan's, absolutely steaming.
Yeah.
Went out, going back home or back to my apartment. And then Max at the time, my missus just says, "When are you coming home?" I said, "I'm not ready." I said, "I don't know what to do." She said, "Well, your kids are there." I went, "I know." After the 12th day, I went home. And so I bawled my eyes out a bit, really. But I didn't do. That's all I'd ever known, football.
Yeah.
And then,
at that time, you'd only been at 2 clubs.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I was 30. I think I was 33.
Yeah.
And, because I'd been playing the resis, I always thought, I'll get another club. Anyway, obviously, did what I did, and I'm not happy about what I did, but it was the only way I could cope with it. And she, my missus was great with it. She was brilliant. We booked to go away then for a month in Spain, and my agent rang us and he just said, "Do you want to play for Burnley? Burnley want to sign in. They were in the first division.
Yeah,
Championship, whatever it is." So I said, "Yeah." And then it was just like, I was happy again then, because I had something forward to. And there was a gym nearby, so I just spent the whole month in the gym sort of thing, getting fit.
Yeah. Obviously, your unbelievable achievements and career at Man United, and then, you signed for Burnley. And obviously you were 33 at the time, and you were coming to that kind of stage in your career. You know, I suppose it's stimulation. I can't. Listen, I'm not a footballer. I can't relate to it, but I've spoken to footballers about. You know, I've spoken to a couple of footballers who have kind of said, you know, Jesus Christ, they're coming to the end of their career and they're like, I don't know what to do without, you know. I need it. It's kind of it's like they've been doing this. It's all they know. They've been doing it for such a long time, and in a sense, they love it so much. You know, no matter how many hundreds, thousands of games they've played in their career, you know, it's that sense of stimulation. It's like a drug to them, you know.
It is. It is. It's like you doing what you do now, and then somebody says, "Right, you can't do that anymore."
Yeah. Yeah.
And you say, "Do you mean I can't do it anymore?" No, that's it. Tomorrow, Al, you're going to have to think of another job.
Yeah.
You can't do your impersonations. You can't do any more gigs. That's you're done. And you're like, fucking hell, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And that was it. Fucking your legs are took from beneath you. But I had a year at Burnley. I enjoyed it at Burnley. Apart from the manager who was a bit of a knob. Stan Turner. They had a bit of a fight sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because we played. I played something like 20 games on the bounce. Then I got sent off. First time I got sent off in my career, down at MK Dons.
That's a very impressive stat.
Yeah.
Well, for a centre half.
Yeah.
Get sent off the first time, you know.
Yeah, I was gutted because first one was a tackle, which I didn't really think was a tackle, and then or was a foul or a booking. And then the second one, it was an handball, and the ball fucking bounced and ricocheted against me. And I could see the referee just go into his pocket. I went, fucking, you're not going to book me for that. So my hands are at the side. No, deliberate handball, red card. So got suspended. Then one game ban. Then we had a reserve game against Stoke away. And as I said, played like the last 18, 20 games. Stan Turner wanted me to play. And I said to Sam Ellis, I said, Sam, just fucking run me. Don't want to play in the reserves. So it'd be nice day off, have a week's rest, and then crack on again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the gaffer wants you to play. So anyway, played a game. It's a shit game. Got beat 2-0. And three of us, me, Paul Weller, I called Dean West. We were sat on the bus. Gaffer comes on. Fucking has a go. Anyway, that was that. So the next day we're training. We pulled Dean West to one side. Has a go at him. Dino comes back. Then he pulls Weller. Same thing. Then he pulls me.
But you think that Stan Turner at the time would have been thinking to himself, geez, this is a really valuable asset I have, you know, to teach some of the young lads. You know, the guy who's been managed by arguably the greatest manager of all time.
Yeah.
Geez, the advice, the lessons of experience that this guy can give to some of the young lads in the team. Was that not his?
Well, that's what he was thinking. But the fact that the young kids, you know, you try and teach. As I said, going back to my time when I was with Kevin, with Bruce, you try and teach them, and then or give them direction. But when they don't listen to you, and you're like, fuck, take your time, keep the ball, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it's just coming back. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, lads, just keep the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Keep the ball. You know, let's get down, let's get playing. Trying to be constructive. Half time, Gaffer pulls us off. Anyway, next day, he says, so he pulls me to one side. He says, right, you've got two options. He says, you can go see the chairman, sort out severance, or you can just fuck off home and you can stay at home. You're not fucking doing performances like that. I said, Gaffer, I'm not being funny. So we're getting battered all day. I said, and the fact that I'm putting in corners is so that we can actually try and get out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have it. So anyway, the ball comes to me the next day, next minute, and I just fucking launch this ball into the trees.
Yeah.
And the lads are saying, Maisie, calm down. I went, he's a fucking dick. He is a dick. We know. Just calm down.
Yeah.
Ball comes up between me and Paul Weller. Well, I just fucking 2 foot the lad. Get the ball, get Weller, fucking the whole thing. And then he starts, who the fucking hell do you think you are? I said, Gaffer got fucking great tackle. And Weller went, Gaffer, fucking great tackle.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking that. Who do you think you are? Fucking big time Charlie. You come from Man United, you think you're this, you think you're that. He said, go on, fuck off and you're not going to ruin my club. So I went, fucking turn around. Ruin it? Me? You've done it yourself, you fat cunt. Fuck off. Well, that was it. Fucking red rag to a bull. You what? I said, you've done it yourself, you fat cunt. You fuck off. And that's exactly how I fucking said it.
Yeah.
Do you want to fight? I went, go on then. So I come fucking bowling over. He's only about the size as you. 5'4", 5'5".
I'm 5'8".
Oh, well. So he comes fucking bowling over and he fucking goes to stick the head on me. Fucking head butts me chest. Throws an haymaker and I just push him away. And then Ronnie Jepson, one of the coaches, comes in. Whoa, Gaffer, fucking whoa. Says, Maisie, go on, fuck off him. Yeah. Oh, you useless cunt. I was raging.
Yeah.
But I get in the car, driving home, and then the lads are like, Maisie, you've got to sue him. You've got to. Get rid of him. The lads hating him. So I get home. I ring Strat. I said, the Gaffer's just fucking headbutted me. You what? Gaffer's just headbutted me. Leave it with him. So he then rings Stan Turner up and said, Maisie's pressing charges for assault. I wasn't.
Just to give him a little scare, yeah.
What do you mean? He went, nobody fucking headbutts any of my players. Well, it was just one of those things that were going on. He went, no fucking headbutts my players. So he's panicking then, and he's ringing Strat every hour. What's happening with Maisie? He said, well, he's thinking about it, but he has phoned the police. He doesn't know where he's going to press charges. And I was just sat at home like with the missus, and she's fucking pissing herself laughing.
Yeah.
So, cut long story short, Strat rings Stan Turner up, probably 6 o'clock. He said, right, he's dropping the charges, but he wants you to go around to the house to apologise to him. Right, okay. So where I used to live, I used to have gates, and I used to live up this country lane, pitch black. You wouldn't even know my house was up there.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely pissing it down, fucking bucketing down.
Yeah.
He gets out of his car, presses a buzzer on the gates, and I've got a little monitor on my gate, on the phone, to let him in. And he stood there. All I can see is this fucking sheet rain coming down, absolutely fucking drenching him.
Yeah.
So as Steve said, my brother, he come up with us, or he came up, just in case anything happened, and he just said, fuck him, leave him, just let him stand there for another minute, and he's fucking buzzing on the gates, and me and our Steve pissing ourselves laughing. So eventually he comes in and he's absolutely fucking drenched from fucking head to toe. And he says, Maisie, I've come up, spoke to Paul, I've come up to apologise. There's my hand. So I shook his hand.
Yeah.
He said, these things happen. I said, no, they don't. I said, players fighting, yeah. Players, coaches fighting, arguing. I said, but not with the manager. I said, you were fucking out of order. Well, there's my hand, I apologised. And that was that. He fucked off. They swept through.
Yeah. But I mean, about that as well, I mean, obviously a rare bad experience with obviously a very unprofessional manager, but
That was funny.
The previous manager that you worked with, I don't know what his name is. Like, what I've always been. I mean, I think everybody's fascinated by him. What was he like? What was he like to on a professional basis, and kind of also on, I suppose, a friendly basis too? What was he like to work with?
He's the best, isn't he? He is.
Yeah.
I mean, to do what he's done, he come down, he got rid of the drinking culture and promoted the youth.
Yeah.
He had a way of doing what he wanted to do and how Manchester United should have been run. And he got that going. And obviously the rest is history. But at the time I was there, he was different class.
Yeah.
He always used to say, doors always open. And he still says that. He still says that today. Give us a bell if you need anything, need advice. Fantastic. But his man management we touched on Eric earlier on.
Michael Carrick in particular as well.
To have so many characters and egos in a dressing room, to manage all of them, they're all different. Because everyone needs an arm around the shoulder. Everyone needs a bollocking. Everyone needs rubbing up the right way. He just knew how to do it. Yeah. And he knew everybody at the club, from the tea lady to Kath at reception, who's been there. Kat's been there over 50 years.
Yeah.
She's still there. And to do what he achieved, nobody will ever get near it.
No. Absolutely. I don't.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And you know what? He still has that. When we because we had the 20 years last year, treble. Came in, sat down, lads. Albert got me a chair, and he spoke for about 10, 12 minutes about that year, what it was like to manage that team.
Yeah.
You look at Gary Neville now, he's gone on to punditry.
Yeah.
He owns half of fucking Manchester, laughing, Beck, role supermodel, this, that, the other. Blah, blah.
He's running a football club now.
Yeah. And do you know what, Al? You could have heard a fucking pin drop in the dressing room because everyone was just staring at him. And the way he spoke and how proud he was of that team.
Yeah.
And that squad. It was something that I will never ever forget. Because it was like, wow. And he got a round of applause at the end of it, and it was so touching. I wish somebody had videoed it to hear it, because it was one of the best feelings I had at United, listening to him say that for like 10 or 15 minutes. It was incredible.
That's amazing, yeah. I mean, he was a huge part of my life. I didn't know any, I didn't know any other manager up until 2013 other than Alex Ferguson. And again, let's talk about me being a crybaby. That final game against Swansea and Old Trafford, when he walked out, I just couldn't help it. Yeah. I just bawled my eyes out, because it was that realization. I'm sure like millions of other fans were the same as myself. It was just like,
that's it. Yeah.
I feel like I've known this man my whole life. Do you know what I mean? And he's provided the greatest memories in my life.
Yeah. It's as I said, nothing will ever come close to him. Nothing. No other manager in British history will do 26 and a half years.
Yeah.
And do what he's done. He's a freak of nature alongside Giggsy.
Yeah.
You compare the two of them. Very, very similar. Giggs is a one-man club.
Yeah.
But when you look at Giggsy and what he's achieved, Sir Alex, the gaffer must have built 5 teams.
He did. I think it was the 92, 93 team. There was the team before that now as well, but he got, as you said, he got rid of the drinking culture from the club. It was that 92, 93, 93, 94, and then the 95, 96, 96, 97, and then the treble winning team.
Yeah.
And
you go into
a couple of about 4 or 5 years rebuilding there, and then out of nowhere, he's got this young Portuguese player by the name of Cristiano Ronaldo. He signs Wayne Rooney for 28 million pounds.
Yeah.
And brings in Tevez. Like that was obviously, I was a teenager at that time, and that was my kind of fondest memories as a United fan. Like just constantly watching week in, week out. Spoiled rotten, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely spoiled rotten. And you know what? When I look at Ollie now, look at people like yourself who've only ever known success. But obviously, you understand football. But when you have some knobheads who go on and say, "Oh, get rid of Ollie and get rid of this and do this and do that," I can't be doing with it. Do you know what? Sometimes you have to rebuild, and that's what Ollie's doing. And Ollie's doing an unbelievable job at it now. You can get another midfielder, attacker in Sancho or Grealish, something like that. We are going to be a force to reckon with next year.
If those two players are signed and Pogba stays, and I'll admit I've been fairly critical of Pogba, not on the pitch. Ability wise, I think he's the best. In terms of ability, he's the best midfielder in the world. Like nobody touches him. The stuff he can do with a football. I think the agent has been a bit of an issue, but Pogba, the man himself, and you've said this to me before. He came on the podcast, and he's just nothing but a respectable lad. He was just really nice, really well spoken.
Yeah.
So humble.
Yeah. And I do admit, he's sometimes you want Paul to come out and say something to defend what he thinks he should, what we all think. Yeah. But when he say something, and I asked him in the podcast, and he actually says, the thing is, if I say it, then they'll want more and they'll change it. So to say nothing is more. So I don't say it, which is frustrating for the fans because me myself want to know.
We don't. It's not a sense of, there's not kind of anger. We don't want answers or anything like that. It's just kind of a sense of clarity. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Listen, if it all goes well, we're back on the 17th of June or the 18th of June, I believe. We're back in Spurs. Get the season out, get that top four sealed, please. Touch wood.
Yeah.
As you said, if we bring in the likes of Sancho and Grealish, Bruno was a part of that puzzle, and a huge part of that puzzle. And keep Paul there and bring in a player like Grealish, and then like the prospect of Rashford on the left, Martial through the middle, and Sancho on the right. I'm not being biased, not being overconfident, but I'm thinking 5 years time, that could be
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Sancho, 20, something like that.
20.
Rashford, 20, 21, 22. Martial, the same. They're not even, they're still babies.
And then you have young Mason Greenwood.
Yeah. Oh, it's frightening, mate.
He's one of the most exciting players I've seen come through.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, mate. When you look at it and you think, do you know what? Over the next 4 or 5 years, we're in good shape.
Yeah. And that's it. It's patience. I think you need time to rebuild. And this is the problem with football today. There's no patience whatsoever.
No.
And it's due to clubs like, dare I say Chelsea, like that money, PSG money.
Yeah.
The folks across the way, money.
Yeah.
There's no now. Pep has come into Man City and he's kind of created he's kind of created something there. He's brought in scouts and everything like that. He's created but that is an issue in football. It's just like straight away, click of the finger, new owners coming in, money.
Thing is now though, there's fucking no money out there.
There's no money out there, and we have benefited from that. Apparently, that we've supposedly benefited from the coronavirus in terms of the revenue and all that. It's
well, so that's a good thing, is it? We'll keep churning it in because we're globally we're the biggest club in the world.
Yeah.
And it if it's 150 million, 160 million, we spend this calendar window. I don't know how that's going to work. I've no idea. When the window opens, when it closes. But if you can get those two players in,
perfect. And Igalo, I was delighted with the Igalo news.
Yeah.
Because I thought bringing in a striker would have been useless. Bringing in a Dembele from France, great player, and I heard the rumours of Harry Kane as well. I mean, you do that again, and it's the same with like bringing Lukaku in. Lukaku was brilliant in his first season, by the way, but it's like bringing him in and bringing Ibrahimovic in. It hindered Martial's progress completely, and he is starting to flourish in that number 9 position.
Yeah,
we saw it towards the last games in March. You know?
And that I think what Ollie has done as well is targeted players that are hungry, who want to play for the club. Last few weeks, Di Maria's been piping up, or his wife's been piping up that, he didn't like it. The only one thing he came for was just some money.
Yeah. And that was it.
And you're like,
I try to sign him to create people give me shit, but they forget I bring in Martial and Rashford.
Brilliant.
But
you know what? I'm excited. For once, I'm excited to actually wait for the season to start again. Or this, like you say, the 18th of June. I'm actually excited to get well. And for next season, Liverpool are going to win the league, but it's going to be the biggest flop ever of a club to go 30 years.
I know,
Can't celebrate. They're going to celebrate in front of an empty stand. I know Klopp's already said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll do this and we'll do that."
Yeah.
But it's that moment of winning the league that you always cherish.
But as well as with the case, in being excited, I mean, we could be looking if they put the pieces of the jigsaw kind of, they all come together, and we bring in the likes of Sancho and Grealish. You could be looking at the prospect of a Man United Liverpool title rivalry, along with Man City. I don't know what the story is at Man City with the whole thing in Europe. I don't know what is going to happen there. Yeah. But I mean that would be tasty to see that in the coming years. Man United against Liverpool.
Absolutely.
Because we've only properly competed against them in 2008 and 2009. Really, that was it.
Yeah.
I think 96, 97 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
they've always been in our shadow for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
They have. And
as well, just before we wrap up as well, I mean, as a centre half yourself, what do you make of Harry Maguire this season?
I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, so do I.
I think him and Victor have got a real understanding together. People had to go at me for backing Victor, but I always said Victor is a top defender. Reads a game up. He can come out with a ball. He can pick a pass. Behind that, then you've got Eric, who's, for me, I'd love to see him play alongside Harry for a while to get his experience and to get. I think he's just lacking that little bit of experience, but
he is. But I mean, just judging from that one game against Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge.
Oh yeah. That's the best game I've seen him play.
It was his best game in the United shirt.
Yeah, but then you look at other games when he's played, and he's fucking 2-footed a lad in the chest, and you're thinking, what the fucking hell are you doing?
Yeah.
How on earth are off? And rash challenges that
we've spoken about this about Boy.
Yeah.
We have,
If he knocks it out of his game, then he could be a superstar. He could.
Yeah. Because
and he could
physically, he's so strong, and he wins everything in the air. He's incredible pace on him.
Yeah.
Well, if he kind of develops that that skill in reading the game, and not being so rash and being a little more calm on the ball as well.
Yeah.
You've got a proper centre half there.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you.
People can see the potential,
he only played, I think, when he came to United, he'd only played maybe 40, 50 games in his whole career.
Yeah.
Which is credit to himself to get to United, but when you look at the bigger picture, then you think, well, he is naive because he's only young and he's only played 50, 60 games. But I think take that out of his game, then he's going to be a top centre half.
Yeah.
But Aaron Maguire's been outstanding. He has, and I'm so glad that he's got the captaincy.
Yeah.
He deserves it. He's a leader.
Great lad.
And he's a nice lad.
Yeah.
Read well. And as you say, he's powerful going both ways.
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, Maisie.
Fuck for that. Fucking hour and 3/4, you cunt.
You were the longest guest.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
We've had great fun together.
Yeah, we have.
We're going to talk about that night, Paddy Crerin's 80th birthday.
I'm actually sat at the kitchen table. You were sat exactly where I am, and I've never seen a man so pissed leave this table.
We were singing Ironic by Alanis Morissette, as far as I remember.
Yeah. And you actually, you missed the flight the next day, didn't you? Yeah. You bounced all the way down the driveway into a taxi, and I thought, he ain't fucking getting up tomorrow. And rightly so you didn't. But yeah, that was
about a week or two before the birth of my daughter as well.
Opened on my fucking best whiskey for you there as well, you bastard.
It was a great whiskey.
Yeah.
Look, you're a legend. Always great to speak to you, mate. Hopefully, when this is all over, we'll be in hotel football or wherever in Manchester before a game or after a game, having a couple of pints, having the banter. That's
absolutely, Paul. It's been a pleasure.
Legend. Cheers, mate.
Take care, bud.
Thanks, bud.